Come gather round the campfire and hear our ghostly tales of chilling terrors, darkest woes, and anything that goes bump in the night. So cuddle up with your best friend or dare it alone. The darkness is closing in and spirits are calling your name. This is Fireside Phantoms. Welcome, dear listeners, to the top paranormal and paranoid news by Fireside Phantoms. You're listening to the first episode in what we think is going to be many, many more this year.
That's right.
For those of us who love the paranormal and also get super paranoid about the news.
Why would you think we would get paranoid about the news, Carol?
Well, but I promise you we're staying away from anything political.
Yeah,
because,
we're not political.
Yeah, because that's too scary for us.
Yeah, it's too scary.
So hitting the top of the list is, I'm sure you've all heard, the monolith saga.
Yes.
And I mean saga because they are appearing everywhere.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Right. And I'm sure most of you have heard the story already. A shiny rectangular looking object straight out of Star Trek.
It does look that way.
And the first one started, I think, did it appear like end of November? Is that when in Utah?
I have down November 27th. It was found in Utah.
I don't know if you knew this, Holly, but now there's an entire Wikipedia link listing and following all the monolith sightings, which are appearing daily all over the world. And I'm talking about daily.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It is. I think the latest one has now appeared in El Paso, Texas.
I have a list, but this is probably already changed. But do you want me to read you the list, or do you want to go through the list? Do you have a list?
Sure. Let's compare my list with your list.
Sounds good. Okay. The first one I have down was Utah on November 27th.
That was a pretty one. That
was kind of cool, but they took it. Some guys showed up in the middle of the night and took it down. They're not the people who put it up.
Right.
But they didn't want it up there, so they took it upon themselves to take it down, I guess. The next one I have was on November 28th in Romania. Yeah.
And that one, to me, looked like a knockoff because it didn't look of the same material.
Would they be able to create a knockoff within one day in a time zone on the other side of the planet? Like, how would they do that?
I don't know. What time zone is Romania? Are they a full day behind?
It's in the Romanian time zone.
So maybe it's 2 days behind.
I think they're before us because they're in the middle of Europe and Europe is before us. So they would have had to time travel back in time, discover the Utah monolith, fly back to Romania and create it before anyone was the wiser. And then it was discovered the day after the one in Utah.
And the thing about that one, too, is it was in a remote place in Romania.
Yeah.
Also.
They're in random spots.
And then there was one in California.
I've got multiples in California.
Yeah, me too. There's even a gingerbread one.
There's a gingerbread monolith? What?
Yeah, okay. So the gingerbread monolith was actually built. It was 7 feet tall. And this appeared in Corona Heights Park in San Francisco. Yeah, so I think it was like a joke. And because, aliens or some mysterious people definitely didn't put it up. They specifically built it out of gingerbread.
It's so funny.
So this particular monolith, nobody's taking it down.
They're not. I would be eating it like with a fork, just going over there and taking a bite off of it.
I would too.
It's got to be covered with ants. Well, I have down on December 2nd, there was one discovered at Atascadero, California.
Yep.
Okay.
Atascadero.
Yeah.
It's a mountain.
It's a weird name. And then December 5th, Joshua Tree National Park in California.
Oh, yeah. I love Joshua Tree.
And then December 5th or 6th, Santa Clarita, California.
A lot of California.
Yeah. And then December 6th or December 7th, Los Padres National Forest, California.
Wow. I didn't realize there was that many in California.
I got all of this off of USA Today.
Oh.
So isn't that interesting?
I mean,
the mainstream news is covering this.
It's funny that all the news cycles are carrying this story. I think they're all freaked out about it.
I know it's kind of freaky because there's nothing like when they tore down the monolith in Utah, it was just wire and like basic. There was nothing alien about it or weird.
It was lightweight.
Mm-hmm. It's probably a publicity stunt somebody's doing.
Yeah, but like you said, they would have had to have had these already pre-made.
Yeah.
Right? They couldn't have just gotten them up that quickly? And then how come nobody has seen them being put up?
Or they just weren't paying attention, and they who knows, maybe they had them all put up at the same time and just waited for people to discover them.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And some people are saying that there was actually a gold one in Colombia.
Oh, cool. I have North Carolina. There was one found. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on December 6th.
Was there one in Oregon?
Not that I've seen so far. Isle of Wight in England on the beach.
Oh, yeah. They're all over Europe, too. They're one in Spain, Germany.
But there's no indication, like if it is a publicity stunt, it's doing a shitty job, because what exactly are they advertising?
I don't know, but, it reminds me of the monolith that was featured in Stanley Kubrick's film 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah, a lot of people are comparing it to that.
Although that one was black, but it was a symbol for, well, I don't know if it was a symbol, but it was a tool for an advanced alien intelligence to guide and communicate with the human race.
See, that's kind of my impression. Let's just go down that rabbit hole, shall we? Let's say it is put here by aliens. To me, I would think it would be a marker for them to navigate by.
Okay.
Or a communication device.
I'm going to take that theory and lower it. Because as much as I would love to believe it's aliens, I think it's people who want disclosure of aliens putting out these symbols to alert that we know aliens exist, and it's a symbol to show everyone that knows Stanley Kubrick's Space Odyssey that the aliens are going to be being revealed soon to mass humanity. And that's why they're putting up these monoliths as like a symbolic calling card, right? Not to the aliens, but to other people.
I'm going to take that theory
and lower it again.
I'm gonna parallel it.
Oh, parallel it and twist
on the same
it
level, and I'm going to say the aliens themselves are behind the PR stunt.
But why would they use crappy
because they're
cheap
so
materials?
Because they're fucking with us. Because they are so intelligent that they are like, you know what?
We're not wasting our good metal on this.
Yeah, we don't have to put good metal down here. What we're going to do is we're going to be very subtle in how we announce our arrival. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put these monoliths all over the planet Earth, and we're going to sit back and relax, and we're going to drink our alien punch, and we're going to watch and see how the humans react. And then very, very slightly, we will start putting like little baby aliens down there to see how the people react to the baby aliens.
Okay, so if the aliens are putting them up, why are they being taken down so quickly?
People are taking them down.
The governments or people?
The only one I know that was removed was the one in Utah, and they were just people who did not feel it should be out on national land.
No, they're all being taken down.
Oh, all of them are being
except for the gingerbread one.
Well, if they are, it's probably because they weren't permitted to be put up in the first place, and so the government
and they're
probably
in
is
parks
taking them
and
down.
stuff where they don't have. Well, there was a collective called the Most Famous Artists, and that is a group of artists that took credit for it, and one in California, and is selling.
It's like a terrorist organization. We're taking credit for the monolith art displays
right.
all throughout the world. It's like, what?
A collective called the Most Famous Artists took credit for it, and one in California. So they're saying that the one they built in Utah was the same one they did in California, but not all of them they did.
Yeah.
And they're selling replicas now for people for $45,000
Oh my God. $45,000?
Yeah. So some people are theorizing this is just a big copycat from artists trying to get like people to notice their art. But they're all triangles shaped, and a lot of them are this shiny metal.
That metallic material.
And they're all pretty much lightweight and hollow inside, so you can easily take them down. So the whole thing just smells fishy.
How do they not blow over?
It makes me very paranoid, to be honest.
How do they not blow over?
Because they're dug into the ground.
Oh.
It says, as of this writing, the pieces have appeared twice in Canada, 14 times across 11 European countries, as well as South America, Colombia, Africa, Morocco. Holy cow.
Well, that's a lot.
And meanwhile, here in America, 12 monoliths have appeared throughout 8 states and the District of Columbia. So it's not a matter of where next will it appear? It's when will it stop at this point? Because people are like, okay, enough with the art projects.
It's weird because, again, when you have something like this, if your intention is publicity,
Yeah.
then you have to figure out a way to tie it to the thing you want attention for. But just putting out like a blank monolith like that with no indication of who put it there or what it's advertising is weird.
Maybe there's going to be a movie, a Space Odyssey 2021.
That'd be interesting. I mean,
That
it
would be really cool.
It would be an effective movie publicity stunt.
It does sound like a movie publicity
because
stunt.
they can tie it to that. But no, as far as I know, no studios have come forward to claim it was theirs.
Well, here's something. In recent news, SETI detected a strange radio signal from the area of the galaxy known as Proxima Centauri. And I guess that's a constellation cluster or galaxy cluster. And it's really close to comparing the mysterious WOW signal of 1977. So people are all excited about it.
What's the WOW signal? Can you give us some more information on it?
Well, that one was reported December... Oh, no, that was in 1977, but that was the signal that inspired the movie Contact.
Oh, I thought
with
you were going to
Jodie.
say it was a signal that inspired Star Wars because Star Wars came out in 1977.
It might have.
Did it bring George Lucas to the planet Earth and then dropped him off and he's like, I'm here to make a movie.
Maybe.
A movie that will change the lives of millions of people. It's probably what
And
it
then
was.
a movie that has puppets that then will make everybody sad. No, I think that people are excited about it. But here's the thing. It was not supposed to have been released, that information. It was leaked to The Guardian by an anonymous source, which has caused a great stir in the scientific community because they were not ready to come out with the findings. And they don't have their scientific paper yet on it, but they're announcing that they'll probably have it completed and submitted in January of this year.
Oh.
What they're basically saying is, even though this big news was sent out to, The Guardian and everybody's excited about it, nothing to see here, folks, move on because they don't have a report yet. They can't really go further into the research about it because it hasn't been vetted. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of signals. A lot of people don't realize this, but there's signals from time to time that they get. Mm-hmm. A lot of time, those signals really are just interference from other
satellites.
Source. Energy sources like radio waves and things like that.
UFO spaceships.
So most likely, Evan Warden, a director at Breakthrough Initiatives, related that really the signal will most likely fail to be confirmed as alien contact.
Oh.
But I think people are excited about it because when it was announced, it was back in December of 2020, even though the signal was detected in April of last year.
Oh.
But people are excited about it. So to me, I thought, could that have a correlation why we're seeing all these art projects popping up everywhere? Because people are really excited about it.
Right.
So I found that in the news. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And speaking of mysterious monoliths, I found this story from Tim Banal. Of course, it's on one of our favorite shows, Coast to Coast.
Yay, Coast to Coast.
But it was also featured in an online media source, The Sun Star, which I guess reports a lot of European stories. But this was taking place in Ireland. An Irish farmer by the name of Donal Bohane, hopefully I've said his name right, has told local media he's been cursed with bad luck for the last 10 years and believes that his misfortunes were caused by an ancient standing stone which was knocked over on his property. According to the Sun Star, a local media report, they stated that Bohane has continuously seen his fields flooded and his cattle falling ill to disease constantly over the last decade. In trying to figure out what might be causing these ongoing problems, he exhausted almost every avenue. One day, though, the farmer wondered if it could all be tied to a fateful day in which one of his bulls knocked over a big monolith-looking stone on his property. Quote, I looked back, and everything traces back to that incident about 10 years ago. This ancient stone, the standing stone, which dates back to the Bronze Age, was believed to have been used for some religious group or spiritual purpose in the past. A lot of people in that area still believe in fairies, and real druids still exist. In a final attempt to remove the dark cloud over his life, Bohane asked a folklore professor to help. And she shared contact information for 2 practicing druids, Jan and Karen Tetaru, who said they would come out to his farm and investigate the situation. The druids determined that the upright stone had probably caused a problem with certain elementals or fairies who had cohabitated with Bohane on the property when it fell. The stone perhaps blocked an important ferry crossing, and in revenge, they have been causing, as Harry Potter would say, mischief and madness for the last 10 years. And while that explanation may sound a bit crazy to some, the Druids said there have been many cases of misfortune to people and their property when they build and expand residences on fairyland or sacred spots. Well, remember Glam's castle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had to move that whole castle construction to a different site.
I remember.
Because every time they were building it, they'd come the next day and all their building would be raised to the ground, leveled to the ground.
Those damn fairies.
And they believed it was fairies. It was fairy kingdom.
Yeah.
And this was a long, long time ago they did that. So equipment was brought in to erect the stone back up and stabilize it in its same spot. And it was heavier than the aluminum ones that we're seeing. It actually took like some actual heavy duty equipment to get it back. And they also performed a series of rituals to clear the spirit road or energy line of any blockage to put an end to the dark shadow.
Nice.
So we're going to have to see if it helped at all. Because this just happened. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they restored the fairies' path,
and hopefully the fairies will leave his cattle alone and his land alone.
The fairy freeway is now back in order.
The fairy freeway.
That's a very.
I'd set up some cameras to get the fairy freeway action going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Could leave some pebbles out for them. I don't know. What do fairies like to eat?
We are into the new year. I can't help, though, but bring up some interesting stories because we weren't airing during that time we were on break. Mm-hmm. But there were some interesting stories that we've missed. One that got many people really scratching their heads and very, very upset was the nativity scene that was put up by the Vatican in St. Peter's Square. Did you hear about this?
No.
So instead of a nice, traditional, comforting nativity set for people who couldn't go to church in 2020, no. They put up a sci-fi nativity display.
Sci-fi?
Yeah, that included 20 ceramic figures shaped like Egyptian sarcophaguses.
Whoa.
Did I pronounce that right? Sarcophagi?
I think you did.
Which included an astronaut-looking dude as like one of the wise men, I guess, and a giant bird with like an executioner helmet, sword, and shield, and an angel that seriously looks more like a cell phone tower or an Egyptian dyad that basically is like a pillar-like symbol in hieroglyphs representing stability, and usually it's associated with Osiris. I got that off of Crystal Links. The Egyptian god of the afterlife and the underworld and the dead. Also, this is really creepy. So in some of the pictures, the baby Jesus was wrapped up in a red cloth, so you couldn't even see the baby Jesus. Uh-huh. But then in other pictures, it looks like, okay, the baby Jesus is not a baby. It's a little kid that looks exactly like a wine cork, like a top of a wine. Seriously. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
So what did the church say about using all this Egyptian symbolism in their nativity scene? That's so weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. But the thing is, they called it like an art project because the Vatican, every year, they use a different nativity scene. And usually it's donated by towns or artists in the area. So they commission the work, right, to do this. Mm-hmm. And the display, this particular display, though, was made by students and teachers in Castelli. And this is an Italian town. And it was done back in 1965. And then pieces were done over that time through like 1975. And they used to travel around, and it used to be a set of 54, but a lot of them have been damaged and destroyed, probably because, people threw tomatoes at it. No, I'm kidding. But it just is weird that they would recycle this hand-me-down project, because at this time of year, back in 2020, these artists were like, thanks a lot. We could have really used the money this year.
Right.
For the work, but they didn't give it to them.
Wow.
Instead, they used this astronaut type sci-fi thing, which is another sign that people are saying means the Vatican is going to get on board with aliens this year.
Well, how crazy would that be if they came out and were like, you know what, we thought about it? Yeah,
they're
aliens are true.
And the Egyptians are aliens and Jesus is an alien.
We're all aliens, by the way.
Blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God, the world would tip on its axis if that happened.
Yeah. So, but along those lines of being, pissed off at the Vatican, I think there's a patron saint who also might be less than pleased with the nativity scene, because this also happened in the news, during Christmas break, which we didn't, air any episodes on. So supposedly there's this holy relic holding the blood of Saint San Gennaro, the patron saint of Naples, Italy. And according to many news sites like Reuters News, during an annual ceremony they performed on December 16th, the blood of San Gennaro failed to liquefy despite 2 rounds of praying by the faithful, which some in the southern Italian city see as an omen of very bad things to come.
Oh, God.
So this blood that is dried and is supposedly of this saint is brought out 3 times a year. One is September 19th is a day that they usually bring it out.
They thaw it out then?
They bring it out in May, and then December 16th. And every time they bring it out, the blood is dried, but then when they pray and they do the service, it liquefies, and it's a miracle, right? So it's this holy relic. And scientists are really, they say that the substance inside the sealed vial does appear to be dried blood, but they can't explain why it sometimes turns into liquid, and sometimes it does after prayers are said. So the last time the blood failed to liquefy, Holly, was on September 19th, 1980, when just 2 months later, a massive earthquake hit southern Italy and killed more than 3,000 people.
Ooh.
So they're just a little paranoid. This next story, I think you're going to like a lot.
Okay.
It's about a very haunted doll.
I like those. Oh.
Can you guess?
Is it Lily?
Holly, tell us a little bit about Lily, shall we?
I gave Carol a Christmas gift this year. It was Lily, the haunted doll.
Oh, she's such a good friend.
She is. She's creepy as fuck. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put her, I think, by your door or windows so she can protect your house from evil coming inside. But you're not supposed to put her in your bedroom while you're sleeping because she gets bored and she gets into trouble.
So she gives me this gift. She's all excited. Now, Holly is
I got it on Amazon.
Oh, God. Holly is a great giver of gifts, right? So she gave me this beautiful, comfy Gryffindor.
Oh, yeah, your sweater. Yeah, her Harry Potter sweater.
Yeah. I was really excited about that. Then I opened this box that has this creepy as all.
I told Carol when I handed her the gift, I said, if you want to regift this, I'll totally understand. Because it is very dark and creepy.
Wearing a red crimson dress with creepy tears on her face or whatever. But
she looks like an evil possessed doll. She totally does.
But her hair is so pretty.
She, as weird as it was when you opened that gift, you guys were wearing matching outfits.
I know, that was super creepy.
Both same color, like her dress matched your sweater and your hair's matched. And I was like, this is like giving Carol a mini-me.
I know, it was really spooky.
It was really spooky.
So Holly explains this haunted doll as like my gargoyle, as the same thing.
It's like a gargoyle.
Carol, it's like your gargoyle. Yeah. Although I read further on the box and it says, definitely you don't want her out during, any time the spirits are at their height, which is basically Halloween, when you would put her out.
Yeah.
Because I guess she can get haunted.
I thought, so she's not supposed to be out during Halloween.
I don't know. It's really confusing. Because the box says keep her out.
Keep her out. I thought the box said to keep her
October
out
31st through October through November 1st.
Okay, and I was thinking she was only supposed to be out for the month of October, but they're saying just put her away for that month, but keep her out the rest of the year.
Or maybe I have it backwards because I was like, so I got to have this creepy doll out the rest of the year, but then with my cool Halloween decorations, I have to put her away. I think I have it backwards, or they printed it wrong. But anyway, if you put her by a window or by glass, mirror, or even your TV, something could come through that, and get into your doll, Holly. And there's been stories. stories about people saying their Lily doll is haunted.
Well, I slept with her in my room like I'm not supposed to before I gave her to you.
No, she's not supposed to be in your bedroom.
But she was before I wrapped her in her box. And I could hear her trying to get out of the box.
No, you couldn't. Stop it. Well, right now she's in my office, so she's nowhere near a
good.
portal.
I think she'll be okay in your office. I'm not too worried about it.
Unless she's seeing right into the computer screen.
But you know what, Carol? If she does become haunted, that will make a great story for the podcast.
I know. So we'll have to think about that. But basically, that is a good segue into this haunted doll story.
Okay.
So this haunted doll, Annie, is a doll that is said to be possessed by demons and started crying real tears at a paranormal investigation at Hideout Bar in Wrexham, England, I think
Wrexham?
it is.
It's named Wrexham? No comment.
It's with a W, though, not rectum.
Oh, well, pretty close.
Pretty close.
They're cousins.
I definitely need to enunciate that one. Wrexham. Anyway, so this all happened, and they're freaking out about it because even though the doll has done weird things, she's never cried real tears. And they notice that now her face is permanently stained.
Just like Lily.
Yes.
I wonder if Lily was crying real tears, and that's why her face is all fucked up.
It's just crazy.
It's so creepy.
We got to move on from the
Creepy awesome.
creepy dolls. And let's talk about zombies.
Okay.
Mind-controlling fungus makes zombie cicadas lure other cicadas to a zombie fate. This is a real story.
Wow.
And this is on Scientific Today, this is on a science website. Right. So it's credible. It was written by Mindy Weisberger on July 31st, 2020. So maybe not super recent news, but there's been other articles all, this year on it.
Okay.
Also in 2021.
Yep.
So basically they're saying that there's this fungus that infects the cicadas. And what it does, it enlists their helps to make zombies. So how it does it is it causes these cicadas' abdomen to be filled with these yellow spores, and it tricks the males into convulsing their wings to flick in movements that are typically performed by females to attract their mates.
Weird.
So now think about this. This is real confusing for the males because they see other cicadas acting like females, and they get confused.
Right.
So they hurry on over to mate with the female that they think is a female, and the males go, "Gotcha! We're actually males, and we're gonna shoot our zombie fungus in you." And
Ew.
that's what they do. And then they're mind-controlled zombie cicadas.
Whoa.
And if that's not bad enough, so usually fungi attack animals and things after they die, not when they're alive. So they're alive with this fungus eating them away.
Ugh.
And basically attacking entire,
Right.
insect colonies or families.
Right.
And it's spreading to other things. So now there's zombie ants.
Zombie ants.
There's zombie flies.
Zombie what?
Yeah. So there's 2 new species of fungi that were found in Denmark, and they infect flies, and they also eject spores from the abdomen.
Oh my God, this is just like the movie Aliens.
It's really scary. So the fungus starts consuming its genitals, and then they follow it up by eating their fat reserves, and then over time, their reproductive organs are gone, and then their muscles. But the whole time all this happening,
They're alive.
they're alive.
Ugh.
And they, this is interesting because scientists say the reason why they act like zombies is because they are doped out. This fungi produces a chemical similar to the mushroom psilocybin.
Really?
So they are literally zombies, and it allows them to keep living unaware because they're zoned out
man.
as the fungus feeds on their insides one by one.
Oh, shit.
And then what they're doing. Okay, so you guys want to know where this was done. This was research, and it was done by the University of Copenhagen in collaboration with the Natural History Museum of Denmark. So they probably have these zombies on display. And they've also found this same fungi, so which have attacked the flies, that now these flies are attacking bees. And it's kind of crazy because you know what? They're literally zombies. Get it? Zombies.
Nice joke.
Oh, no.
Nice play on words.
Thank you.
But really, we don't want that to happen to bees because bees are so important to our ecosystem.
Right.
That's not good.
Right. So
now we have zombie bees. Are they going to infest the killer hornets? The murder hornets?
that's old news. Yeah. We're into new news.
Not if they become zombie hornets, zombie murder hornets.
Just zombies. They're just everywhere. They're in their entire insect kingdom now are zombies.
So they're all high on psilocybin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're getting slowly digested and they don't even realize it.
They don't realize it because they're high.
Oh my God.
Yeah, isn't that great news? It's not only paranoid news, but it's kind of paranormal.
It's very scary.
I wonder if they're having a spiritual experience when they're on it. Because, mushrooms,
yeah.
That's the thing. People say they have like a spiritual experience on it. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay, next. Not all paranormal and paranoid news is all bad.
Okay.
For example, in 2021, the movie A Quiet Place Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Which was supposed to have hit the theaters in March of 2020, but because of COVID, was forced to change scheduling. Well, now it's going to be released in April of 2021.
Oh, good. Hopefully it will be.
You didn't like that movie?
No, I did. I just hope that the second one does get released at some point because movie theaters, I think, are all shut down right now, right?
But you know what'll be great?
Huh.
You know how difficult it was for people to be quiet in a quiet place with their popcorn and stuff?
Right.
This year, it won't be a problem because they'll all be wearing their masks inside or maybe outside a drive-thru watching it.
Yeah.
So they can't make a sound.
Are they going to distribute it via like Netflix too? Because that's where I imagine a lot of people will just watch it from there.
I don't know. I didn't research that part.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters Afterlife is coming out this year.
Right, with the kids of the Ghostbusters, right?
That's right. So this is going to be kind of following back the traditional Ghostbusters with like Dan Aykroyd.
Right.
Bill Murray's in it. It's got a lot of the original cast members of Sigourney Weaver, but it's minus Harold Ramis, who I think passed away.
He did, and he was, didn't he? I think he helped write the first one, right? Him and Dan Aykroyd wrote it together.
And Dan Aykroyd is actually producing this one.
Oh, okay.
So, but he's in it also.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So this one is going to release in June 11, 2021.
Oh, good.
Same day the Mayan calendar ends, according to some people.
I thought it ended in 2012.
Anytime it ends with a 1 or 11 or a 0 or a 2020 or an 11 or a 12, it's the end of the world, Holly. Just deal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
I do now, though. I'll stop asking questions.
Pretty much every calendar day is the end.
It is the end. It's always the end.
And this brings us to the end of our news. Except we've got one more thing.
Yes.
Holly and I got a very special gift for Christmas. Both of us, coincidentally.
Well, we've told you guys in the past that we're both professional tarot readers and we read tarot cards all the time for people. So we thought it'd be fun to incorporate tarot cards into our podcast.
Once in a while.
Once in a while. So we're going to be doing a spread on the monolith to find out what's really going on.
Thank you, Holly. And explain what deck we're using and the story behind that.
Yes. So the deck we have...
Both of us.
Is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck, which is lovely.
It's awesome.
I got this for myself, actually. I saw it online. I'm like, oh, I really want that. So I bought it. And then, of course, I ran over to Carol's house. I'm like, Carol, look at my new tarot deck. And she starts laughing. And she goes, yeah, my husband got me that for Christmas. So we both got the same tarot deck at the same time because we share the same brain.
Yeah, it always happens this way.
It always does. So we're going to use those cards to do our reading.
And we will
shuffle. We'll be right back. Okay.
We're back.
So we've done our tarot spreads on what is really going on with this monolith or monoliths that are being found all over the world right now.
Right.
It's very strange. I'm going to go first. I pulled 3 cards and I'm, of course, using the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck. So I got, in this order, the Star. I got the Knight of Potions, which to you tarot readers out there is equivalent to the Knight of Cups. And I got the Ace of Needles, which also to you tarot readers out there is the Ace of Swords. So what this means to me is the following. The Star is a card of being in the dark about something. There is a great optimism and hope and passion around something, but you quite can't see what it is. You just know it's on the horizon. There's something that you're striving for and working towards. So to me, I think that this is where the inspiration comes for this monolith. Now, the star also means looking upward to the sky.
Yes. Holly, I was just going to say aliens.
Aliens.
It's the star.
It could
people.
be aliens for sure with the star, but yeah, it's a card of hope and optimism and excitement and love and healing, but it is a card of not having all the information, but just filling yourself up with optimism and hope for what is to come. The next card is the Knight of Potions, and that is usually referring to a person in particular. I suppose in our case, it could be an entity, but we'll go with person. It's usually a male, and he is an artist. He is creative. He is very much driven by love and passion. And he, I believe, has this inspiring insight to create and put his art out into the world. And he has a message that he wants to impart to the world.
Oh, so it's a movie producer.
Yeah. And then we end with the Ace of Needles, which to me is an upsurge of epiphanies. It is revelation of what is really going on around these monoliths. So I believe the true nature and message of the monoliths will be coming out.
Yes.
And we will all become enlightened by what it is they're trying to tell us with these monoliths. And they're going to be exciting. It's going to drive action. People are going to be inspired by it.
And I agree with definitely the Ace of Needles or Ace of Swords being that, because it is definitely, we are going to know for sure what these monoliths are all about. So there won't be any sort of, oh, what is it? What is it? So we definitely will find out soon.
I think so too.
Okay, that's awesome, Holly.
Yeah.
Really quick, I've got the Tower.
Really?
Starting out.
Interesting. Okay.
My other cards are the Eight of Needles, so the Eight of Swords.
Okay.
And I've got the Eight of Potions. So the Eight of Potions represents the cups.
Okay.
And so it's funny because like the swords and the cups are themes that you had also in your spread.
Yeah. And the Tower is the card right before the star.
Yeah. And the Tower represents destruction and complete transformation and change. Mm-hmm. So, it could represent that these...
tearing down our old ways.
Tearing them down, more will get torn down or whatever.
Yeah.
But it also means that it represents building a new tomorrow, building a new world.
Right. Yeah.
With aliens.
With aliens.
No, I'm kidding. and then the Eight of Swords is really feeling trapped, which we all felt in 2020.
Yes, we did. Depression.
Being trapped in our situation, in our thing. And I believe that these monoliths could be a way to heal the planet and to release us from the traps, or to represent just hope that people have, because the last card is the Eight of Potions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that is really trying to move forward and with a dream and inspiration when you've kind of given up hope.
Right.
So I think whoever this is, to me, it points more towards representing a statement, an artistic statement.
I think so too.
That whether it's, hey, yeah, we're going to transform our world into robots and technology with fancy mirrors.
Right.
Shining, reflecting everything.
Right.
Or
look at yourself. This is why they're shiny.
That's
so you can see your reflection in them.
Or it's it's a movie promotion or something.
Well, I think too with the Eight of Swords or the Eight of Needles in the case of this deck, is that you might have a lot of this person that are putting these monoliths out there have a lot of anxiety and stress because it's getting a lot of publicity, and maybe that was never the intention, but they're getting a lot of publicity for it, and then they're a little freaked out because people are angry about this. It's scaring people. It's causing people to wonder if there's aliens coming. Like it's creating a lot of anxiety too.
Yeah, and it's weird. I doubt it would be one person, but it sounds like whoever this messenger is will be this male you depict announcing what all this means. So maybe it will be like a spokesperson.
Perhaps.
Finally.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I think with the star card, that still could mean outside involvement from a
yeah.
paranormal spot, but my cards
Good.
don't speak to that as much.
Right. Yeah,
So-
we'll see, I guess. I mean,
We'll check in again.
I think the chances of it being aliens are very, 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 very low. So I think it will be revealed soon, just like you do, that it is some kind of person or group of people that are out there putting up these art structures, and they have a purpose and an intent behind it, and we will know what that is soon
right.
enough.
But if it is the aliens, you didn't hear that.
Yeah. Not from us.
Yes.
So anyway, we'll find out, you guys. This is we're gonna start doing tarot readings around a couple of our different topics. So we'll put our reputation out there to see what happens. Maybe we could be wrong. We're not saying we're always right. We could be wrong, but we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, and just you're safe. We'll never use the Ouija board. Never.
Yeah, we don't believe in the demonic Ouija
You're
board.
fine. Okay. Take care.
All right, bye,
Till
guys.
next week. Bye.
Bye.
As the flames die down, do remain undaunted.
Though all hitchhikers are ghosts,
And all dolls are definitely haunted.
hey guys, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Our handle is @FiresidePhantoms. If you have a spooky story you would like to share with us, send it to firesidephantoms@gmail.com, and you may hear it on a future episode.